So today we're here at the Museum of Anthropology just outside of UBC, and we've, together with Linda Doricott and the representatives here, Karen, we've been able to have a look and see what the collection is, the museum artifacts and ceremonial objects that I mentioned, what exists here, and to identify those as being part of the heritage of the Guasala and Nahuatl. So over the past several months, we have been talking about the possibility of bringing the old people, those people that are connected, the descendants of the original carvers, here to see this for the first time. And so we started rolling on the arrangements that needed to be made. There was a lot of logistical considerations given the number of folks that are coming today. So it was quite a project, and one that our folks really looked forward to. Our eldest elder that opened us in prayer yesterday before the travels, and today before we went into the museum, Sarah Wakas, originally Hunt is her name, and she's 85 and in a wheelchair, but there is no way that she would stay at home. She was insistent that she had to come here to see pieces of work that had been carved by her dad and her grandparents and uncles and relatives. We traveled, oh my goodness, from the north end of Vancouver Island in Port Hardy. Our community is called Tsalkwati, and this was where the Guasala and Nahuatl nations were relocated by the governments in 1964 from the traditional territories of the Guasala to the north and the Nahuatl to the south. They were forcibly, almost, relocated to this small community, or small Indian reserve at Tsalkwati, just north of Port Hardy. So there was about a total of maybe about 40 people. We have the people that came on the bus that we rented for the purpose. Also, there was about 4 different cars that traveled, in addition, carrying people down here so that everyone could get here. So close to 40 people, and then of course the technical people that came to film, and young folks. We had a really good representation of the youth, which is, as the elder said over and over again today, the youth are our connection. They're bringing the past into the present.
Oh, ik heb over dit gaat zo erg week is gaat ook Lord. Om de kwart even nachtelijk gaat ook kijken om. Gaat ook zeggen zo Lord Jesus gaat ook kijken. Oh, ik kijk om daar genoeg. Ja, het gaat ook Lord Jesus gezond. Doe God dat ja genoeg wachten is, Lord. Oh Lord Jesus, wat we met ons toch genoeg wachten straks was, Lord. Oh, ik kijk weer open. Daar kan ook zoals om. Ach, zinnig genoeg, waar ons toch gespreken was, Lord. Daar kan zo gespreken om kindertjes. Amen. Amen. Amen.
So we'll call on our young folks to open us with a song to begin.
Oi,
Thanks, love. Really cuts my tone, Sarah, starting us in the right way, and it's so good for the young fellows to connect us in that way to what we're about to do today. I just want to say a couple of things right at the beginning, and then offers an opportunity for others to talk at this time in terms of what we'll be doing today. But first, I'd really like to acknowledge all of our two nations, the people of the descendants of what we're about to see, that have come here today to witness and to experience the work and the culture and the spirituality that will come from those amazing pieces that are going to be shown to us today. It's a wonderful opportunity for all of us, and we acknowledge the Museum of Anthropology and Karen and the crew here for inviting us and for giving us this opportunity, and it will be one of many, I'm sure, in the future. Some of you have had an opportunity to come here already, but I know that most of us haven't had an opportunity to come and see what's there. So there's a lot that goes into making this day happen, and thank you, Auntie Sarah and Tom, Iklamas, and Walter Michael for starting us off in the right way. And at this time I'd like to also thank Linda Dorcott, where she's going to come for us. And as you know, Linda has been working on searching our artifacts and finding things that were done by our people, and trying to find ways to get us an opportunity to see those things and to find ways to bring some of them home if there is an opportunity in the future. I would like to ask if Karen would like to make any comments about the day, and then I would like to offer an opportunity for our people here to make some comments to do so.
Okay. Thank you very much. It's a huge honor for us to welcome you here to the Museum of Anthropology. I know it's a gigantic trip, and in talking with Linda and Colleen, it's been a lot of planning on your part to get here, and we're thrilled that you're here. The museum is yours today. In fact, the museum is closed to the public, so we have the museum to ourselves, and we've set up some tables and chairs down in the collections area, and we'll make the collection available to you. Let me introduce some of the museum staff who will be helping today. Jennifer Kramer is a curator as well, who will be helping. Taya is our collections research coordinator, and she has been working with the collection, bringing out things from behind the scenes in storage for you to see. And she'll be working with us all day long and knows where everything is, so we rely on her a lot. Wendy is a new volunteer at the museum, and this is her first day to help out, and so she's being thrown in head first in a big way to work with your big group, and we're so happy to have her with us. And Pam, there's Pam, another one of our curators, Pam Brown, is helping us today. And I'm Karen Dufek, one of the curators as well. So we have everything set up for you, and we're willing to just play it by ear then in how it works best for you, whether you'd like to work in smaller groups to look at things or talk about things in a bigger group, anything like that. We'll work it out however it works best for you. And then we're bringing in lunch for you at around noon, so we can have lunch together. And then we can continue into the afternoon as long as you like. So, Gela Castlo for coming.
Is there anyone that would like to ask some questions or say some words, or any folks that Chief Patty?
First of all, I would just like to each one of you. I know some of you, it was a challenge with your health. And I do really say from all of us, our appreciation of your strength. You are the ones that kept us going. Your wisdom, your knowledge, And I can't express that appreciation enough on behalf of all of our young people, our future generations. Bailey Kisla to each one of you. Bailey Kisla to all those that facilitated this trip. I don't know if we will be able to all appreciate what it really truly signifies to our people. When you look back at who we are and what we are as people, what the government and everything happened to us, we were almost lost. We have an opportunity to really make that connection. And I want to acknowledge the Museum of Anthropology and those people that have worked diligently to help us in doing this. When we look at some of these work, it's our forefathers, our great leaders, our great teachers, our great people of our historical background that put these works together. They're not just pieces of work, they're stories in those artifacts. Something we hope will generate memory in some of you. The stories of what they mean to you and your family. The songs that will flow. I'm sure as they were singing that song, I was watching our elders. I know that song. I pray one day we will all be in that position. Whenever a song is sung, we recognize it, we acknowledge what it means to us as people, to our families, as our future generation, our kids are going to really need tools to work with. It's a tremendous society that we're growing into, and we need to find a way to fit in, to become a part of it in a real and meaningful way. I'd like to also acknowledge the Coast Salish people for allowing us into their traditional territory. That is our way. We need to always acknowledge the people where we go to. For us it was lost at times because we were removed from our traditional territory way back when. But we can rebuild, and I encourage us to keep that strong in our hearts. There are a lot of work that has been done. I'm glad to see young people like Mike that has helped us in so many ways. There are people in here that has contributed to that so immensely. I think of Betty, through the work of her dad, that worked so hard over the years to just keep that little seed from being lost. I know cultural genocide was real. I didn't even know myself what a song meant or what potlatch meant. It was way, let them guys do it, kind of attitude. And I thank people like that and others of you. I look at somebody like our oldest elder, Sarah. I'm just amazed that she has the strength to come every day, every hour almost, to every event that happens in our community. So faithful, and that's the teachings of our old people, to be a part and to contribute. Can't acknowledge that enough, what her commitment is. I see others throughout the room that has done that same thing. We need to bring that back. We need to identify, like, what do those works mean to us? How is all that connection? What does it mean to us? I want to thank you, the people in charge within this museum, for your great hospitality, your great heart to accept us. You know, we were struggling for so long. We are in a process of rebuilding, and we give thanks to you. It's like to our great Lord above for looking after us, coming down, and may He continue to be with us as we journey home tomorrow. It's like Colleen for everything you've done for us. Thank you.
I'd like to say we grew up with masks all over the house in London, and we just took them for granted. Our father, Chief John Noley, owned a whole attic full of masks, and unfortunately they all got stolen and sold. And another thing I'd like to do is thank you all for being my support right now. It's really hard to come to Vancouver. I didn't want to face Vancouver for a while with the loss of my daughter who lived here. And with the help of you all, I'm feeling safe and secure, and culture is really helping me through this. And I want to thank all of you for being there for me. Gaila Kisla.
Can I just say something? I just want to say thank you to all of the elders that I've interviewed, and thank you for coming on this trip. There's a lot of interviews with all of you. When I first started this job position, I didn't know who I was. I knew who my mom and dad were, my stepmother, my siblings, my aunts and uncles, and that's all I knew. But with this job, I've been growing and learning. And I know that you guys are a bunch of crazy people. A lot of you. Especially you, Uncle. And but no, it's kind of cool to be able to interview and listen to your guys' story and feel the pain that you guys have gone through. And to know that I'm actually related to every single one of you. So I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come into your home and invading your privacy and asking you a whole pile of questions that you think that I was supposed to know, but I didn't. So it's kind of amazing to see the connection that I did when I was able to interview certain people, and hopefully I'll get to interview the rest of you, because I'm not that scary. And, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for allowing me that, now that I got you guys all in one spot and not everywhere else, because I'm going to bingo later. Just kidding. Thank you. That's awesome.
Would anybody else like to say a few words before we go down the big hallway to the rooms?
I believe before we leave, say thank you to the youth for being here with us. Yesterday I was talking about you. The youth, about being with us. Someday we're going to take 2 buses. Why? I was listening to Natasha, what she's speaking about. She interviewed us, but with the legs that you have, it's starting to take into action. We're starting to, you're going to start seeing what we told you about, what we talked about. It's always good to have that, and not only to show and tell our children, our grandchildren about what we went through, but they need to see some of the things that we went through. Hardships build us more strength to go on. We have been. You see us today, where we are today. Why? God knows where we can go. He's the one that gives us the strength to go on with our lives. And look at this, my auntie. She will see the work of her dad. My other auntie, she will see the work of her dad. My auntie, Auntie Marion, will see the work of their dad. Our auntie Janet will see the work of her, what her dad did. We're all the children and the grandchildren of those that we're gonna see. You know, there's gonna be tears of joy, there's gonna be tears of sorrow. You know, but it's gonna help us build more and to tell our children, our grandchildren, of what is out there for us to see. It is for us to see and feel. You know, it is ours. You know, there can be no claim against it because it's from the hands of our people. They knew how to carve, and they taught us how to carve the way our lives are now today too. They chipped away at all the bad things that we went through in residential school. Yes, they're the ones that corrected us to be where we are today. This is what gave us what we have, the heart that God gave us. And we will go on with it for a long, long time. We have carvers here, so, you know, they'll see it. I want to say thank you to the youth that's been with us. I'm so glad to see Walter on the bus yesterday. Oh, you know, it helps me to hear the songs of our people when we used to sing. You know, we didn't pick it up because, you know, what we jumped into in our lives, eh? I'm glad that our children, our grandchildren picked it up. Now they're helping us today. Thank you, Colleen, and those that worked hard for us to be here. You know, yes, they went through pain coming this way, but they wanted to see, maybe for the last time, I don't know. You know, we're here to see something good in our lives. Dela Kisman.
Dela Kisman. So precious, all of these words and our youth. And I understand that we have a youth directly from this nation that we're standing on, sitting with his grandma Kathy over there. And I understand that.
I just wanted to say thank you. People who are responsible for bringing us here. I'm already choked up. To see my dad's work and the brother's work. Thank you very much.
Just want to let everyone know that it's an honor to be here and see all our owners. Part of this beautiful trip done by Colleen, Linda, Alpatassa. And, you know, I think we're gonna, like Willie said, we're gonna go through some, you know, trying times, but it's, who knows, you know, maybe the last time, but we're here. We made it safe, thanks to our driver, wonderful man, you know. And, you know, enjoy the rest of your day. We're here. Thank you, Kessler.
Dela Kisman. Yes. So enjoy, everybody, and take all the time you want to do what you want in here today. Like Karen said, it's ours today, for the day.
Are we allowed to take
Yes. Okay.
Is that card the right thing?
This would have been one of those, they call it yak and klap, speaking through the post. Yak and dao. Yak and dao.
Yeah. And so every clan had their own speaker. That's responsible for providing the information, stories and names and stuff that belong to the particular clan. So he would go in behind there and sort of like represent like the ancestor, and because that role was passed down from generation to generation too, the speaker. So it's just nice to be able to come here and see this post that I believe was in Watutsum, the big house that belonged to the Wallace clan of the Nakwakdawk.
Do you know where that is?
And Baats, London Harbor. And I think today, if we wanted to go back 150 years, just turn the lights out in the big house, then everything would just come to life, you know? We had a power outage when we were doing a performance in Victoria. Well, the humps were on the floor.
Oh my goodness.
And it just kind of just transformed everything. The firelight and everybody was just
Crackling.
in the dance. All four of them were on the floor, and it just looked like, oh, that was amazing.
Oh boy.
See all the detail.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I see all the detail. I got a lot of our open focus. Everything was so deep.
So deep, and that created more drama, I guess,
Yeah.
with the fire as the only light.
Yeah, and you know they had a lot of patience too, right? So the detail was
Super.
Yeah, I remember that when Jody was born, 1948.
I was born in
49.
1948.
Doug was born 1948. 1949.
Is that Charlie Walker's George's father, Tom George?
No. Oh, Charlie T. Walker's.
Your mother was saying that that's when
Mary Henderson's
your grandmother
dad.
Father, yeah.
born. Well, then I think that the pieces here, we're looking also then for the pieces from Mrs. Joe Johnny. Okay. I mean, we're trying to get out of something.
I wanted to find out some of the names that belong to the Warmers family during potlatches and stuff of my dad, and how we came to acquire Kawadikla.
Mrs. Joe Johnny was the seller. So these are the grandchildren of Mrs. Joe Johnny, and they wanted to see the pieces that she owned. And it's just, I've been able to hold it. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
Holy George. Holy George. That. This one will just fit right.
Shh.
You can
You're bad influences guy, eh?
Edit it, cut it out.
Put it in your pocket.
Use it in the Yahima.
Yeah.
Yeah, he worked with Mungo Martin. Actually, I think Mungo learned from Wyatt. That's where a lot of the Hunt Boys started, from Mungo. Yeah, he has quite a few actually here, I think.
So neat. Our grandfather's carvings from Smith and our grandfather, Chief George.
When do you think he carved those? Any idea?
I wouldn't know when. He carved most of his life, Paddy.
Yeah. One of his major carvings from is in the Museum of Man in Quebec, next to Ottawa. The house post on the big house. That's one of his major carvings going to be there. I can't remember which one he had here.
Wyots, masks.
These are just the things from the store.
Any names on this? Is it Nellie Seaweed?
Oh, let me just check the catalog record there.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, oh, it's got a long description. Patty Mullet.
Oh. Mully.
Malay?
Mully, yeah.
Did you know?
No, that's way before my time. Not cooked up. Wow.
One of the reasons that this is so significant, this visit here to the museum, is that our people were removed physically from their land. And on their land is where all of these carvings were done, and were all of the people that were inspired to carve and inspired to sing the songs and to write the songs, and to all of the people that were our spiritual leaders and our cultural leaders lived and grew up on the lands that our young people now have not had that opportunity. And so that's part of our effort, is to remember and to try to rebuild and re-strengthen and reconnect. Most importantly, reconnection is a very important word for us right now.
Your grandfather. He belonged to my grandfather, Charlie J. Walker's.
Yeah. My dad.
He just loved to dance.
Dance.
Yeah.
Bear dance.
Strength they had.
Yeah.
Awesome.
No.
It's so beautiful here. It brings a lot of special memories.
This was Charlie G. Walker's. That was Janet's dad. And his name was Hana Girok. And I remember him showing his mask like this in the course. Probably the same one.
And did they use these for dancing? Did they use it for dancing?
Yeah. This one represents the Bakwas, different from ours. The Nagot one, the Gosana is different. And this one, he says, looks like an owl mask. And we have different owl masks. This Uncle Joe, he would dance owl.
He was renowned, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well known.
Dr. Kenny.
We
I believe that some of the connections that are particular are older people. I was hearing one lady saying how in the house where she was growing up, the house was filled with all of these beautiful carvings, and they were not bought. These were carvings done by her dad.
Because he gave away all the names in his book. It's what I was told.
These were spiritual objects, and they were teachings, and they recorded the history. They were our identity as a people expressed in these carvings and these masks. And she lived with those every day. She never thought differently when she was growing up that there was anything extraordinary about that. And then when she saw them today, she realized, holy mackerel, I used to live with this, that's who I was, and then it was no longer there anymore. And my dad's no longer here, you know, like the history of the family and everything is, there's a big gap of time, and just reliving for a moment what it was like back then, just by looking at an individual carving.
I used to sit there watching carving. That sounds like your grandma, huh? I think God's Mantla. Oh, Mantla. I think it's Mr. George. Well, what's she married, Mr. Hall? Her name's is Mary? Yeah. Oh.
Can't make it.
Feels like suede almost, eh?
Yeah, almost, yeah.
And what would this be? Would they make those? Each one? Do you think?
I think they made it's a metal sheet.
And then he would just bend it.
Yeah, they just cut it. I remember used to see them do that.
Mm.
It's got beads in it. Little beads. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
And these look so new here still, whereas they're kind of a bit worn. Like this one here, that big one there. The paint is really kind of faded on it, whereas here they look really kind of bright. They look really bright. But so this must have been in the maybe in the late 1940s or something. I don't know, but
that's before I was born.
Oh.
This big, I was born 1946.
Oh.
And that'd be 40. I know from Smith Inlet. Called the Coos. That's why I really made it. I was born in Nanaimo, but I moved to Smith Inlet to Coos after that. So that's. I don't know what they do in the market, but they used to fish there. Houses inside there. But I don't know what these are.
I think it's very extraordinary that we have such great dialogue with the Museum of Anthropology people here, and we are very pleased that they've been able to take such good care of all of these artifacts, and that now they're helping us to find ways to see them and to be with them, and that means a whole lot to all of our people. And there was extraordinary amount of care and respect shown today, and I know that this has formulated a relationship that will only get stronger with the Museum of Anthropology.
That's right. But this was a lot of work that you went through to allow us to come and view all of these things, and it's meant huge. It's just amazing what it's meant to our people, and it's hard to express now, but I know it's going to manifest in different ways.
What I've learned today is that we're on an amazing journey of discovery, and that we need to continue to do what we did today. We need to continue to find ways to bring an opportunity for our community members to have this experience in whatever way we can. It would be great to bring a lot of young people again to see these, and that we must continue. These feast dishes, these carvings, that's who we are. Those are alive, and we need to keep them in their lives. We need to keep that connection alive to these objects. And because that's who we are as a Guasalanahuatl peoples, as a nation. For us to grow and thrive into the future, we realize we have to keep that alive.